We cannot flee from our own hearts. Carl Jung. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, your hands trembling over a blank message screen, wondering, why do I feel so empty? You walked away, shaking off memories you once nurtured, but then weeks or months later, you turn back to the past like a mesmerizing nightmare. What is holding you back? Keeping your avoiding heart tied to a love you thought was long gone. Modern society praises independence and personal freedom as the ultimate keys to happiness. Yet the moment we hit unfriend or block, believing we've escaped emotional chains, we find ourselves staring into the abyss of loneliness. Every click that feels like liberation leaves a crack in our attachment system, a crack so deep in the subconscious it compels us to return to the only place that once brought us peace. You are not alone. Millions around the world carry an avoidant attachment style, where the fear of emotional intrusion drives them away from love, only to pull them back when confusion strikes. This journey is like an underground river, invisible, unstoppable, yet powerful enough to shape the course of our lives. Behind every departure echoes the need to be understood, to be cherished, and the most fundamental human need, connection. This video will reveal why avoidants cannot truly leave you, because they always return to the one secure base their heart has come to rely on. Join us as we uncover the secrets of the psyche, so you can understand, is it possible to love without the fear of loss? And how can avoidants move past their fears toward a truly secure and enduring love? On the surface, someone with an avoidant attachment style appears to step away lightly and decisively. They exit relationships quickly, confidently, and without looking back, as if a single click of unfriend or block could erase every old connection. But in reality, that gesture is not the pinnacle of indifference. It is a protective shield, a self-defense mechanism that helps them evade the deep-seated fear of being hurt. Beneath the sturdy shell of reason, unwavering self-control, and resolute independence, there exists a powerful attachment system simmering like a hidden flame. According to attachment theory, every person possesses a secure base, a psychological lighthouse that guides them through storms of loneliness and emotional chaos. The avoidant is no exception. They too crave understanding, safety, and love. Yet they refuse to acknowledge this desire openly. When this protective bond is severed, they do not transform into emotionless machines. Instead, their attachment feelings are buried beneath a layer of calculated thinking. It is an unconscious suppression where memories of shared joy, sorrow, and empathy are carefully boxed away, tucked into the deepest recesses of the subconscious. The consequence of this suppression is a persistent internal conflict. The protective conscious mind insists, "I'm fine. I don't need anyone," while the attachment system quietly whispers, "I miss. I need." This very conflict creates a dramatic tension within, where they experience temporary liberation, but concurrently are tormented by unfillable nostalgia and loneliness. They can buy movie tickets alone, travel solo, even appear engaging in social gatherings, yet in the quietest moments of the night, memories of the person who once provided security will come alive more vividly than ever. This is not weakness, but the echo of a fundamental need to connect and to belong. When they attempt to rationalize their departure, they often offer plausible explanations. "I need space. The relationship moved too fast, too strong. I need to find myself." Yet these reasons inadvertently conceal the truth. They are fleeing from a deep-rooted fear, the fear of losing themselves within another person, the fear of dissolving their personal boundaries. And after each self-imposed farewell ceremony, they wonder why their heart won't let go entirely. Because despite an exterior of emotional coldness, their mind still cherishes images of a warm hand, a soothing voice, and an understanding gaze. When the attachment system is disrupted, they lose not only a partner, but also their own healer for personal wounds. It is precisely this unacknowledged hurt that becomes the unconscious attachment void, an unnamed emotional chasm where attachment feelings are compressed. And that void cannot vanish through sheer willpower. It will always exist as undercurrents that compel them to return. Consequently, Every farewell click marks the beginning of a reactivation cycle. After a brief phase of freedom, emptiness and loneliness resurface, submerging them in nostalgia. They realize that independence is not the ultimate solution for deep connection needs, and that reason cannot halt a system ingrained in the subconscious. Unless they confront and embrace these internal conflicts, they will endlessly repeat the cycle of leaving, suffering, returning, like a vortex without end, until they learn to allow themselves genuine understanding and healing. We have explored the unconscious attachment, void the layer of suppressed attachment, feelings buried beneath reason, self-control, and the illusion of independence. Now, let us delve into the paradox within the avoidant mind. Although invisible, the attachment system is always active, ready to awaken whenever they believe they have truly found freedom. At first, upon breaking away, they feel a rush of relief, as though they have cast off suffocating chains, uttering perfect justifications. I need space. This relationship moved too fast. I need to find myself. In that moment, they are convinced they were right, that freedom and independence will lead to genuine happiness. In the initial days apart, they immerse themselves in personal pleasures, savor solitude, and display enthusiasm for new plans, proud to have dared to leave the comfort zone of love. However, the attachment system does not shut down completely. It quietly retreats into a dormant state. Then, when life presents challenges, a sleepless night fueled by work stress, a lonely weekend while friends are coupled off, or an unforeseen emotional blow like losing a loved one or failing an important goal, this system automatically reactivates. From the depths of their subconscious, a powerful pull draws them back to the familiar safe haven, the person who once understood them best. They need not read a message or see an old photograph. A fleeting feeling of desolation or a random memory, the scent of an old perfume. A familiar song is enough to awaken their attachment need. During the reactivation phase, their psyche oscillates between resentment over losing freedom and a deep yearning for comfort. They argue with themselves, I chose freedom, so why do I miss them now? I don't want commitment anymore. Yet the warm memories erupt violently, as if their heart has decided to break down the defensive wall on its own. They begin to stealthily check social media, search for their ex's name in messages, or simply reminisce over moments of unconditional support and understanding. This is not a failure of willpower, but proof of an evolutionary drive. Humans are born to belong together. According to John Bowlby's attachment model, our attachment system functions like an internal clock, constantly prompting us to seek the safest refuge when threatened, and in the avoidance mind, their ex remains that sanctuary that once provided security. With each crisis, this system repeats its cycle. A brief period of freedom, reactivation, surges of longing, and eventually, a stealthy decision to reach out again. At this point, many avoidants blame themselves. Why am I not strong enough? I've failed to maintain distance. In truth, their return is not weakness, but rooted in longing for a safe, unconditional understanding. True strength does not lie in stoic isolation, but in recognizing that longing, facing it, and understanding that returning can be an opportunity for healing, not merely a repetitive loop. Under the pressure of loneliness, the avoidant heart must ask, what made me feel so safe? What lessons did I learn from that past relationship? When they begin to ask these questions with genuine courage and honesty, the attachment system ceases to function as an unconscious trap and transforms into a lighthouse, guiding them to the value of deep connection. This marks the first transformative step in breaking the cycle of leaving, suffering, returning, paving the way toward a truly secure and enduring love. From the moment an avoidance attachment system reactivates, they experience more than mere loneliness. They vaguely recognize a profound loss, the loss of the unique, secure base that once regulated their emotions and provided solace amid life's storms. This revelation marks the transition from exploring the paradox to the climax of their journey. When memories surge, the avoidant does not merely seek temporary comfort, but reflects deeply on the singular value of the bond that once sustained them. Research in attachment psychology confirms that close, stable relationships help regulate the autonomic nervous system, especially in those with avoidant tendencies, enabling them to lower defenses build trust, and gradually let go of protective barriers around the heart. They come to see that within your safety, they no longer have to fight the fear of being overwhelmed, the pressure to maintain distance, or the dread of judgment when expressing emotional needs. As a result, that relationship becomes an integral part of their neural and emotional landscape, a foundation not easily replicated by anyone else. When an avoidant first turns away from you, you might believe they are gone for good. Yet unconsciously, they carry your image to compare with every new person who enters their life. A new friend, a new lover, even casual acquaintances. With each date, each conversation, they realize that no one can perfectly recreate the precise elements that made them feel secure with you. The way you listened without judgment, the patience with which you set boundaries, allowing mutual freedom, the way you sensed their inner rhythm and responded with genuine empathy. In new relationships, they may find initial excitement and passion, but gradually they realize these feelings are fleeting, lacking the depth and tranquility that come from unconditional understanding. The quick, surface-level interactions of modern life seem insufficient to satisfy the slow, steady reassurance their avoidant heart craves. Gradually, they perceive the gap between the original sense of safety with you and the superficial experiences with others. You have become a rare, secure base, a delicate balance of freedom and attachment, personal space and empathetic companionship. Attachment theory shows that when a relationship reaches high security, an avoidant's autonomic nervous system learns to lower defensive responses, thereby reducing stress, fostering trust, and allowing their heart to open over time. The remarkable truth is that few can both respect an avoidant's personal boundaries and patiently wait for them to lower their defenses without perceiving it as rejection. This is why the relationship with you is incomparable, and why after countless experiments, avoidants still return to you, not merely out of loneliness, but because they recognize the profound value you bring to their inner lives. For avoidants, finding a secure base like you is akin to discovering a peaceful island amid a chaotic ocean, the only place where they dare to reveal vulnerability without fearing loss of self. And when faced with a world of volatility, temptation, and fleeting connections, you stand as the rare haven they cannot easily abandon. Thus, the climax of attachment lies in this realization. Avoidants return not just due to memories, but because they have discovered in you a quality that reshapes how they love and how they are loved, a quality that cannot be copied, cannot be replaced, and cannot be fully found in anyone else. After the climax of realizing you are the irreplaceable secure base, the avoidant enters the turbulent phase of shattered independence. They believed that breaking away and severing all ties would grant them absolute freedom. Freedom for them meant unrivaled power, unlimited space to live on their terms, unburdened by emotional needs, ungoverned by anyone's demands. Yet once the bonds of attachment are severed, they drift in the emptiness of what they called independence. Initially, that moment of liberation is blissful. They revel in the right to be selfish, dedicating time to personal passions, making every decision autonomously, and taking pride in needing no one else. They travel alone, read through the night, explore new hobbies, even throw private celebrations just for themselves. It all seems to prove that independence is a miracle, immune to loneliness. But with each passing night, as city lights dim, they encounter the stark contrast between illusion and reality. I'm free, yet I'm adrift. I'm strong, yet empty. I'm independent, yet I've lost a part of me. They discover that many essential facets of themselves, empathy, compassion, the thrill of connection, only flourish within a safe relationship with another. These aspects cannot sustain themselves in complete isolation. What they once saw as freedom becomes a snare. Independence taken to extremes morphs into isolation. In the vast expanse of solitude, they suddenly feel submerged by aimless longing. The space they had craved turns into a bottomless pit, swallowing memories and security. In the quiet, they yearn for long, deep conversations, for being heard without interruption, for the comfort of leaning on your shoulder. What seemed like a solution, total independence, reveals itself as a jagged shield, blocking not only pain but also warmth sharing, and understanding. They realize that the boundaries they imposed, locking themselves in solitude, are the greatest barriers to touching the softest parts of their heart. They sense their former selves re-emerging, lonely, hollow, and emotionally numb. In this journey of disillusionment, their disappointment does not stem from pursuing independence, but from misunderstanding that humans are not meant to be utterly alone. Autonomy and independence are vital, yet they only thrive within a secure relationship. Severing all connections to protect oneself means forfeiting the chance to express and nurture the most delicate parts of the self. Gradually, the avoidant begins to recognize signs of true balance. Personal freedom must align with genuine connection. Healthy boundaries must coexist with trust and openness. Independence does not equate to isolation, but to standing strong together. They realize that to revive dormant parts of their soul, they must reopen the door to a safe relationship, maintaining enough distance for personal growth, while allowing their heart to be cradled and healed. At this point, the illusion of independence shatters, giving way to a new longing. Independence within connection, freedom within safety. They understand that an attachment bond is not a shackle, but a pair of wings that support them to fly higher without fear of falling. Only then do they truly grasp that the heart cannot flourish in solitude alone. It needs a secure haven to lean on and grow step by step. After shattering the illusion of absolute independence and realizing that total freedom is merely a trap of isolation, both you and the avoidant have reached a crossroads in your relationship. Continue the cycle of leaving, suffering, returning, or use this return as a gateway to genuine healing. This marks the transition from Part 4 to Part 5. Solution: turning inward, not just turning back. Returning in itself is not always a sign of change or renewed commitment. Rather, it only holds true value when the avoidant has begun to ask the pivotal questions. What am I running from? How can I learn to attach while remaining true to myself? When they start acknowledging the deep-seated attachment wounds, they can peel away the armor of reason to confront the trauma, the fear of being overwhelmed by love. At that moment, returning is no longer a search for temporary comfort, but an expression of an inner desire for transformation, a desire to understand defensive mechanisms, a desire to heal the parts of themselves that have long been neglected. In this process, turning inward becomes the ultimate tool. Instead of focusing solely on the act of coming back and reacting impulsively, both partners must create a safe space for the avoidant to face their fears, writing in a journal about emptiness and internal conflicts, practicing mindful meditation to observe sensations when memories surface, or seeking professional therapy for guided exploration. As the core wounds are illuminated through each journal entry, each mindful breath, the avoidant no longer needs reason to mask the pain. They learn to let their hearts speak, allowing the need for connection to emerge naturally rather than feeling like a threat. Not every return merits an open embrace. If they come back only to reenact toxic patterns or avoid genuinely engaging, you have every right to maintain distance, set boundaries, and protect yourself. However, if they return with a more open interior, demonstrating in words and actions honest vulnerability and a genuine wish to work through deep-seated fears together, then this moment can signal the start of a new chapter, a chapter in which both partners no longer exist as isolated individuals, maintaining distance, but as brave allies delving into emotional depths to co-create a secure foundation. The ultimate solution does not lie in maintaining distance or letting go entirely, but in the skill of balance, preserving personal autonomy while embracing profound connection. This is when the avoidant establishes a new pact with themselves. I am willing to face my fears, allow myself to be vulnerably exposed in a controlled manner, and grant trust so that love can heal. And you, having become the secure base stand as the supportive companion, the proactive boundary setter, the patient empathizer who refuses to accommodate old patterns of avoidance. When both partners commit to this collective effort, the relationship transforms from an endless loop of fleeing and reconnecting into a journey of inner growth where attachment scars become not just painful reminders, but testaments to resilience and courageous love. Avoidants are not emotionless. They are ever-shifting souls who evade attachment out of a very real fear of being overwhelmed by emotion. When they return, don't just ask, "Did you miss me?" but rather, what have you come to understand within yourself? Only by confronting their inner wounds can they share genuinely and grow together. True love is not about trapping us in fear or enforcing rigid bonds. It is the bridge that guides two hearts to face the past, acknowledge their dark corners, and heal side by side. In such love, you remain yourself with your flaws, scars, and needs for protection, yet you are still understood, treasured, and loved unconditionally. It is the space where you do not have to hide your pain, but can reveal it and receive comforting embraces, where you do not have to fight to maintain distance, but can lower your defenses and feel warmth. Only when both partners turn inward, learn to face their fears, and grant each other deep trust, does love truly become the lighthouse that leads the way. From that point, the relationship ceases to be an endless cycle of leaving and returning and becomes a journey of mutual growth where every healed wound makes the heart stronger and resonates with the song of a love that is free yet not lonely, independent yet not detached.